Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition, excuse me, of my video blog. It's been a while since I've done one, I think, a proper one anyway. I thought I would let you know how things are getting on with me. You may remember, if you've watched any of my other ones before, that I just asked someone out on a date, and I spoke to you just before that date. Well, I've been on that date now, and I've been on 2 others with her since, so we've had 3 dates, and they all went incredibly well. First date was in Sheffield, and we went for a few drinks, talking, and we ended up going to a rock pub called the Dove and Rainbow, and they often put on bands there, and there was some band playing that night. I can't even remember what they were called now, but they described themselves as a mixture of Iron Maiden and Metallica, and they described Metallica as a cutting edge band, so they clearly thought it was 1983. You know, for what they did, they weren't too bad, but they weren't my cup of tea anyway. But anyway, that night went really well. We ended up back at her place, and we literally stayed up all night talking. Talking and listening to various progressive metal bands. I've been educating her for a couple of months now in sort of music. As most of you will probably know, I'm mostly into progressive things. And she's more into the melodic side of things. I've been making her a lot of illegally doing copies of albums for her and recommending stuff. So we stayed up all night listening to progressive metal and talking, and to be honest, it was incredible. Yes, we had a bit of a kiss and a cuddle as well, but, you know, nothing more than that. Second date, we went for a few drinks and saw a couple of local bands in our hometown of Gainsborough. She's from Gainsborough as well, originally, but she lives in Sheffield now. And I've been home over the Easter break, so we went for a few drinks here and saw a few bands. But to be honest, we spent most of the night sitting at the back of the venue, which is a working man's club actually, or services club. I'm not sure, it's some kind of club thing. It's attached to the football ground here anyway. And we sat at the back mostly, drinking and having a laugh. We do get on incredibly well. For some reason she finds me hysterical. And, you know, we just connect at that kind of talking level. And there's a definite chemistry there as well. We ended up back at my place, again, listening to more progressive metal and rock, and having a nice bit of a kiss and a cuddle back at my place. When I say my place, it's technically my dad's place. This is the family home that I'm recording from now. I don't really live here anymore, only during the breaks at university. So yeah, that was a nice date, and then I walked her home about 3:30 in the morning, and then the following afternoon we went on a more conventional date. We went through to Lincoln, and we went to the cinema. We went to see The Hunger Games. I know there's been a lot of hype about it, and I know it's based on a book, and there's a series of books or whatever. It wasn't really my thing. I kind of like the basic premise for it. There's been plenty of stories and graphical novels and films over the years based around similar things, and it just kind of seemed like a more child-friendly and teenage-aimed version of Running Man. I don't know if any of you have heard of Running Man. If you haven't, lovely, lovely cheesy movie starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. Fantastic. That's the period that I grew up in with that kind of stuff. So that was more my taste. I've heard that Battle Royale is a similar kind of premise as well, but again more of an adult themed one. I can kind of see where maybe the story's going to go with I haven't read the books for the Hunger Games, so I don't know. I'm not even sure what the follow-ups are called. I think one's called Mockingjay or something. Anyway, I'm guessing it takes more. It's got quite a political stance to it. Anyway, sorry about me fiddling with my hair. I just noticed it looked odd. Yeah, so we'll try to ignore that. Or I suppose I could edit this, but I won't. Anyway, see, I'm not sure where it's going to go. I wasn't overly keen. It wasn't a bad movie, but I don't understand the hype. I guess because I didn't read the books. I've kind of missed all of those kind of teenage fads. When Harry Potter came out, I already felt like I was a bit too old, so I never really got into Harry Potter. The movies are okay, but I read the first Harry Potter book actually a long time ago. I didn't really get into it, that kind of thing at all. So I missed out on that fad. I didn't get into the Twilight fad either. Again, I didn't read any of the books, but I read enough about them to know that I wasn't interested in the actual story. And then I saw the films and they were terrible. Again, not my thing. If you're into that kind of thing, fair enough. I wouldn't begrudge people being into whatever they're into. It's fine by me. So again, I think this is another one of those kind of teenage fads that I missed out on. Mostly because it's not really the kind of books that I read. I'm more into sort of travel literature. I say literature, it's sort of almost social experiments, stuff by Danny Wallace and Dave Gorham and Tony Hawks. People who have adventures and document them. I think there's a certain element of fiction to them as well. Sort of may move events around a little bit to sort of make it a better flow of a story and things like that. So that's the kind of thing that I would normally read for fun. I do so much reading for university now that I've kind of lost interest in reading for fun, to be honest. I'm rereading the Max Brooks zombie books, The Zombie Survival Guide and World War Z, because there's movies being made about them. So yeah, that should be. So I'm rereading them now. Anyway, we had our third date yesterday, which was. Did I mention the third date? Yeah, the cinema. Yeah. After the cinema, we came back here again and had a bit of a kiss and a cuddle again and listened to some more music and talked. Nothing really physical has happened yet, which is mostly my doing. Obviously, when you're attracted to somebody and there's a chemistry there, when you're kissing and cuddling, it's kind of hard to not do other things. Obviously, I'm not going to be too graphic with you, but it's hard not to. It's not as if I haven't been tempted, but I don't know. I like this girl. I don't see the need to rush. We agreed to take things slowly anyway. People may say that going back to each other's places is quite a bit of a rush, but we're not allowing anything to happen. I think if we have rushed around to have a physical relationship, then perhaps you could argue that we're moving too fast. But we're not going to get to see each other that often, so we're not going to be in a position where we can kind of go too quickly. But it's been going very, very well. She was texting me today and saying that she really likes where we're going. She feels really comfortable with me. She really sees it going somewhere, and I feel exactly the same way. I genuinely like the girl. I say girl, she's a woman. it's going very, very well, and we'll see how it goes. My sister didn't take it too well. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I told my sister because it's one of my sister's best friends, and my sister absolutely furious. She was close to tears, and she was very, very angry with me, and she started laying into me, talking about how I'm a selfish scumbag, and because she was angry at me, she started sort of picking me apart, pointing out everything that was wrong with me. Um, that's fine, I resisted the urge to sort of fight back, because I knew she was angry, I knew she was upset. So I figured, rather than argue, maybe say things that I didn't really mean either, just let her get on with it. And she came around today, it's Easter Sunday, well, it's not now, it's Monday, but it was Easter Sunday, and she came around, and we ended up going for a family meal. Well, I say family, it was my sister and her boyfriend, myself, and one of our older brothers came over, and we all went out for a meal. And my brother, asked me over the meal if I was seeing anybody. Normally I would lie and say that I wasn't, but obviously my sister was there, so I had to tell the truth. And he kind of brought up the issues that Jane might have with it. But I think Jane and I kind of laughed it off and managed to avoid going too deep into it. So that was good. My sister, she's not happy about it, but we're told that she's kind of going to have to accept it. I think once we've been together for a little while, and she sees how well things are going and how well we get on, I think she'll be okay with it. She'll come around. I'm going to keep her out of it anyway. One of the things she's worried about is getting caught in the middle if things do go wrong. Well, Kirsty, that's the girl I'm saying, and I are both adults. We're both older than my sister. So, I think we're mature enough, or at least I would hope so, that, if things do go wrong, we could at least be civil and not put my sister in the middle. Or at least that's how I intend it to be anyway. We'll see. Things are going well with Kirsty and I. My sister is dealing with it anyway. She's not ignoring me. She's not being a complete bitch to me, so she's dealing with it. So that's good. It's kind of exciting. I'm not sure when I'm going to see Kirsty again now. I might make an effort to go over this week because I've got another week of Easter break left. But obviously, like Kirsty, the girl I'm seeing, has a son. He's only 3. He's not particularly old. I'm not particularly keen on the idea of being a stepdaddy, stepfather. But yet the son has a good relationship with his own father. We've agreed to keep him out of our relationship as long as possible. And we want to make sure that it's a genuinely serious relationship before he even knows about me, before he even meets me. And I'm happy about that because I don't want to cause any kind of disturbance to his life either. I want to be sure that I actually that Kirsty is the one that I want to be with long term before we start taking on responsibilities like that. So we'll see. We try not to think too far ahead, but when there's a child involved, that kind of puts restrictions on when we can and can't see each other. It's kind of hard not to think at least that far ahead. But we'll see. It's fun. We're trying not to put a label on it. People have said, "Is she your girlfriend?" And I'm like, well, we haven't used that label. We're not in a Facebook relationship. We're not using the term girlfriend, boyfriend, etc., or relationship, if you will. We're calling it dating or seeing each other. But, it's exclusively dating or seeing each other. There's nobody else involved. We've agreed not to see anybody else while we are. So I'm guessing technically, kind of like being in a relationship. We're not using that terminology yet. I'm not particularly bothered, but for her sake, because she's the one that's been really touchy about using those kind of terms. She hasn't exactly had the best of luck. Well, neither have I in terms of relationships, but I'm not scared as she is, I don't think. So there we go. That's the update. I apologise for my fiddling with my hair, and now it looks kind of weird, but whatever. I don't know if you can see in the background, but my Optimash Prime, that was a present a few years ago. I don't know as well if you can see, there's a photo here. That's actually a guy in just a leopard skin thong. That's Robin, one of my best friends. I've known him for 20 years now. That's an image of my eldest nephew and my second eldest nephew, but that was quite a few years ago now. You know, the one in the blue and the white is now 19. The one in the red, must be 15 now. I haven't seen him for about 8 years though. Yeah, since my mum died anyway. So there we go. You've seen a bit more of my actual family home bedroom. I've explained a bit more about Kirsty and myself. I hope you haven't found it too boring. You've listened to some of it at least. And hope you enjoy the hat as much as I do. And also, advertising, Aliases. If you don't know Aliases, go and check them out on Facebook. Fantastic band from the UK. You should know them. If you're not really into metal, not really into tech metal, I wouldn't bother. But check them out anyway. Aliases. Check them out. And I'll see you next time. Stay awesome. I know that I will.